It's the ageist-old question. The politics of the handlebar. Flat or drop? Actually, to me the video is about comfort, which is comfiest for a Joe Public. Up until recently I would have said there's no question about it. It's flat bar or straight bar. That's the same thing, flat and straight. But then I thought about where people want to put their hands, for comfort. And at the moment my ignorance bias is for sort of around here, most of the time. Not for steering, and probably like that as well. So you've got two different positions, and probably this as well, for when you really want to steer. But probably that in your resting position, when things are easy, you don't need to steer much. Probably that for a change, within your hip, so that you're not way out like that. So in my mind I ruled out drop bars, but then I realised that those two positions are probably where most road bike cyclists are with their drop bars. They're meant to be down here, but they're hardly up and down there when you start looking. They're usually about here, or yeah, they've got the things in the drop bars where they put their shifters, and they're usually about there. So it is ironic that maybe the drop bar is, but I'm staying with a flat bar anyway. This video is about comfort, and the first thing I would say is your handlebar should be higher than your seat, or at least level. It shouldn't be away down here or anything. Yeah, race bikes are away down here, but this is a race bike as well. But it came like that. I've added a big extension, and I've added another extension to the extension. And I would say now that I've got my handlebar in a perfect position, which is ironic, because I'll tell you more. Yeah, first I want to make a big point. Like, these things should move up and down, you should just be able to press a button. You can press it up and down, backwards and forwards, so that you can always get the right seating position every time, even when you're cycling. Yeah, I just say ironic because I bought this because I thought this would be my ultimate thing of this, because I can move it back. This one only moves about to there, but I want it something like that. But then I ordered this bar in between then, waiting for this to come from AliExpress, which is like 2 or 3 months, and it's turned out perfect, this riser bar, but it's perfect, but I'm going to change it anyway, alright? Yeah, because this is the Decathlon Triathlon, and it's really just a race bike, but they sold it as a flat bar, and but it comes away down there, where the race bike position is really, because that's how road bikers ride. They're a wee bent over, curving their back and all that. So it came away down there. So I ordered that extension first, and this, and now I've got it perfect. But look how higher up I went on it. I mean, I'm up about 23 centimetres. It would have been about there, so say about 20 or something, 20 centimetres. So if you're going for comfort and you like a bike and it's away down there, you can put extensions on, It's a bit awkward and that, but it's pretty straightforward. But because when Joe Public goes to buy a bike, what they're thinking of, they're going to be like Pagotcha and Vildegard, whatever his name is, the Tour de France champion. That's what you're going to be like. But then you realise you want to be more like Mary Poppins, Miss Jean Brodie, Boris Johnson. And what have they all got in common? They're all sitting upright. Actually, in Boris Johnson, I would need to check his posture and that again, I don't know. Because he looks as if he's got his seat too low so his legs are hanging out. I mean, he always looks as if he's going to work in some industrial place with a big chimney or something. Apart from he's wearing a suit, which is totally the wrong clothing. And also, if I was the cycling industry, I would pay him to not cycle, because he sort of gives it a bad name, because it makes it look as if you don't get any fatter and you don't lose any weight. Same way he's running as well, they should pay him, stop, because you're making us look bad. Anyway, like I say, I thought straight bar all the way, but then, like I say, once I started to think how road bike cyclists think me, if you look at road cyclists on YouTube or whatever, even the Tour de France, the peloton, they're all sort of, hardly any of them are using their drop bars at any moment. They're mostly hanging about there, here, or they're on the top of their shifters, which is ideal, because The other thing I'm envious about is I've got lots of space on their handlebars, which with a flat bar, as you can see, it's pretty awkward. I've added this thing, it was from TEMU or something, it was like £5. It's not meant to move, but in a way I'm glad, because it means I can take that right down if ever I need to turn the bike back upside down. But yeah, I've got, because you've got so many things on your handlebar now, I've got a be seen light here, my main light, I've got a bell here from TEMU. You can get all that stuff on eBay as well, all this cheap stuff. Not really, that's from Aldi and that one's from Decathlon. I mean this thing, which doesn't quite fit the way you hope, or I do. I mean, I wonder if road bikers could just do away with the drop bars, you know what I mean? I know that some hill climbers do away, saw their drop bar bits off, because they're always going for weight. I'm talking about the amateur, really serious hill climbers. There was a competition in Britain this week. They do all sorts of things to get their bike to tiny weight. I mean, I think one of them I saw was like 4.6 kilograms or something, and the winner was about 5.2 kilograms, his bike. But yeah. Anyway, that's one problem with riser bars. You lose all that sort of space to put stuff on, you know. Because nowadays people are putting computers on and their phone. So I've ordered that thing. I've got a bit of space. You don't have much space once you put your lights on, really. So I'll stick with flat bar just now. And another point I've got to make is how wide should it be? And I think it should be as narrow as you like. Obviously, when I say narrow, I mean it's comfort. I think you want to be within your shoulders, you know. So that sort of that would be my main position for steering and that. But I think round about here is where I would like to be, but not for steering and stuff. And then I'll maybe get the things to do that. I don't agree with the extenders that you get out here. Well, partly because I've got a mirror on my extender, but also I don't think the geometry works from there, you know. Maybe if you're climbing in a hill when you're out your seat, but really I don't see any point having these things out here. If you've got these grip things, I would rather have them in here somewhere, but not too close, because then you can't steer really, you know. Yeah, and I don't know if road cyclists, even though they can go put their hand there and that, I don't know if they're still stretching, you know, because they seem to have their thing pretty forward, because they're wanting to crouch at least a bit, I would think. Although, really, when you look at them on YouTube, I mean, like I say, even the Tour de France are sort of hanging about here, or their grips on their shifter there, like that. You know, they're not very often on the drop bars, but if they are on the drop bars, they're definitely bending down. But Joe Public doesn't want to do that, in my opinion. Really, that's for one's road bike enthusiasts. I think Joe Public, you want this level here. Another thing I've seen is it's mainly for like maybe tour people who use sort of the butterfly bars that go like that. I don't know, they're really weird. Like, I mean, it sounds a good idea at first to me, but then when I look at them, I can't really see the body positions, you know. But I might try them because they're only about £20 or something. That's one thing about even cheap carbon things, they're really cheap. I mean, that carbon handlebar was like 12 quid or something. Yeah, this one was like 12 quid on AliExpress, and that's carbon. So, here's my old carbon one. The thing about this, it's far too long. I made a mistake, I went for long ones. I think that's mountain bikers that maybe use long ones. I've got something stuck in it, couldn't get at it. That's another problem you have with these things, but I may even saw that. This is 580, it says, millimetres, which ironically is the same as my risers, even though they're 600, they're 60 centimetres. Yeah, you get things stuck in your handlebars, you know, it's just one of those things. I might put a mirror on this side as well, because I find that sometimes I'm looking back, you know. If you get a mirror on your bar, then you don't need to look back, which is really convenient. Yeah, this 58cm bar is the same as just about the same as a 60cm riser, and it just goes to show you how much that sort of shape there's taken out of it, really, you know. One thing I wonder about riser bars is whether that shape maybe gives you a bit of buffering from shaking, you know. Maybe it takes, because it spoils the geometry or whatever, you know, suspension, that's what I mean. So if that was true, that would be great, you know. But I don't know. I mean, naturally I would go for straight bars, but if that was true, then I would sort of consider. And like I say, this is actually perfect at the moment. It's just above my seat post, and leaning over, I'm hardly leaning over. So it's really perfect. The good news for the unknowledgeable is that nowadays you don't need to slide this out a handlebar. You take these bolts out, then you can take it out. One thing about raising your bar is you'll probably need to do all your 4 cables. You'll need to probably get 2 new ones and use the 2 rear ones as your new front ones. And then you'll need 2 for the back. That's brake and derailleur or whatever, you know. Well, I've got 4. I mean, if you've not got a front derailleur, it'll be 3. So that's a real nuisance. I recommend good cutters for that because it's surprisingly tough, especially the brake cable, and especially its outer housing of the brake cable, which is thicker than derailleur cable and the derailleur housing. You know, for obvious reasons, I suppose you don't want it to break. No pun intended. Yeah, one thing I'm envious of drop bars, road cycling drop bars, is they've got so much space here, you know, because their shifters are the type round about here, they go down, you know. And nowadays I think their shifters, they sort of use I don't know what they're doing actually, they're shifting it that way. It'd be interesting, maybe you could put road shifters on straight bars, you know, to give you lots of space. And I wonder if the shifters are actually easier than, because these ones are actually pretty tough if you go for miles, you know, a really long distance journey, that your thumb gets worn out. Oh, mine does. You get fed up, but it really gets worn out, your thumb. I suggest everyone get this mirror, it's great. It's from Decathlon. It's only about £5 or something. It bolts in there with an Allen key and it expands. That adjusts as well, you know. I use it all the time. Yeah, this is a new thing, it's to give me more space really. Yeah, but like I say, because with straight bars, nowadays you have to buy the brake and the derailleur thing separate, or well I do anyway. You can get them, but they're both coming all in one. But that's taking up even more space there, you know. I recommend this company, well, I've not actually used this yet, but I think they've done my old one as well. It was from AliExpress. I really like how they've put lots of information here. You know, that's where it's giving me lines to bolt the thing on. Yeah, it even gives me the weight. Yeah, what is it? 180 grams. But it was only about 12 or 13 pound, I think. You know? I would say I would prefer if it was all the same thingy for putting stuff on, you know, like these sort of things. Sometimes you need shims to put these on. But I don't like when they go down and down, you know. I would prefer, if this has to be a different size, I would prefer if that sort of went down, then that was all straight, you know, it doesn't curve down. Mainly just so I can get my junk on, really. Yeah, these old ones were too long. You know, if you're only going a short distance, it doesn't really matter, but if you're going a long distance, the geometry of having your hands away out there, way beyond your shoulders, you know, it eventually wears you down. So I'm talking to Joe Public, alright? Some road cyclists use thumb shifters as well, which is sort of weird things that come up here. You sort of use them with thumbs. Sometimes you use them at the end of their drop bars for changing gears. I don't know if you could use that on a flat bar. Probably could. I mean, I might try it sometime, but quite often these things, even if they're easy to go in, they can suddenly be lots of complications, like your cables and stuff. All this stuff should be removable in 5 minutes, you know. You should maybe clip it all out, you know, the cables and stuff. I mean, we'll all end up with electronic shifting, but for now I think it's just the rear cassette that's made for electronic shifting, and it's like £1,000, which I don't have a clue why aren't loads of companies copying copycat companies making ones for £100, you know. But so far I don't think any make brake electronic braking. I would have thought that would be possible. Maybe nobody wants to get in that because of safety. Yeah, because when you get this is actually a big long screw, and it actually keeps that screwed in this bit here, down here. So if that's ever too loose and if it came out, not only would your handlebar come off, your wheel would fall off, your fork would fall off too. So you would have a double whammy, terrible situation. So make sure it's tight. But ironically, when you make it too tight, I think it sort of affects the steering and makes it too stiff. Don't quote me on that. But you never really hear of people having an accident because their steering bar fell off in their fork. I'm going to put this on so that I can go sort of, you know, I'm even thinking about that. But this has got a big, but the one in there at the moment's even longer because of this extension. So I'll probably use the one that's already in there. One thing about this new one is I can't take it out, so maybe that's me stuck. I'll not be able to use it with this extension probably. Oh well, I'll soon see. I've got the mic sorted and it's just time to say goodbye. And flat a drop, and my answer to that political question is a resounding I don't know. I thought I knew 2 weeks ago, but now I don't because all the road cyclists are there with their hands there and gripped like that, you know. So I bought these grip bars from TEMU. I don't think I'll use TEMU again. I just use them once to try, but it's really just the same stuff as eBay, you know. I don't think it's that much cheaper either. So yeah, but I was going to try these, but as usual there's complications. I don't think they fit my bar right. I'll probably need a shim or something. But I like the idea, but I don't know if these ones are good enough. I think this is a 25mm diameter thing, but they just don't fit, I don't think. Because I think traditional mountain bikes use a smaller bar or something, I don't know. It doesn't look, I don't really want to clasp. I'll need a bit of rubber in there at least anyway. So I'll try and give them a try. It would fit in with my theory. Is that the right way around? It's a 50-50 thing and I've probably got it wrong. You see. Anyway, alright. Anyway, flat or drop, it's a resounding, I don't know. I thought I knew, but I don't. But I would still go for flat, I think. Probably, I wonder maybe even trying road bike shifters on it. I don't know, maybe that'd be stupid. But yeah, there you go guys, it's just food for thought. Boris, on behalf of the cycling and running industry, we ask you to cease and desist because you're making us look bad. Makes us look like people don't lose weight or get any fitter. What are you eating after your cycling? Is it foie gras or something? Main point, get your handlebar level or higher than your seat. You want to be less Bradley Wiggins and more Mary Poppins. I should look this up before asking, but I wonder when Greg LeWand won the 1989 Tour de France on the last day with his time trial to Paris. I don't think he was using drop bars. I think he was using some sort of thing that went down there. But mainly it was, I can't remember, but I mean the triathletes, they don't use drop bars, do they? I don't know. I think they use a special. But then that's pretty dangerous and they don't have to bother with traffic. I worked out why Boris is wearing a suit to the big factory. It's because he works in accounts. He could be the trolley guy, I don't know. Or maybe a trolley to take all the paperwork a bit.